Think about this right now. You have power to change your life's most difficult problems into your most important wins. But how could you ask? Today, we go deep to the core of Stoicism, an old way of thinking that has given people power to do well in tough times, peace and happiness amidst chaos hundreds of years. Remember the last time, when you were in a situation that pushed your limits or made you doubt yourself? What did you say? Were you locked up to your first thoughts? Or did you pick an answer that showed what you really believe, morals and beliefs? Now is the time for Stoicism to shine, teaching us on how to respond to the difficulties of life with bravery, smarts, and equal rights. We're going to look at a very important idea that comes from an old knowledge but is still surprisingly important. In the present day, how to train well your thoughts to act. Do not reply. This idea isn't just about dealing with your anger or staying calm in tough circumstances. It has to do with growing feeling of being deeply aware, roots in the present moment that lets you to get through the ups and downs of life, with grace and reason. The Stoics were Greek thinkers known for a sensible way of living. How to tell the difference between react and respond. The Stoic view had a lot to say about this. They thought that, even though we might not have in charge of what took place in our lives, we do have power over how we understand and react to these events. Stoicism helps us pay attention to what we have power over, to encourage a separation from outside events and a holding peace in our own minds. Options. This Stoic knowledge is what that can make us stop and think, look back, and finally decide what to do. That makes sense and planned, rather than quick to react and act. But why does this matter? Think about it. How much stress, feeling of sadness and anger comes from quick reactions to what people say and/or, now picture this. You could instead stay cool, centered and careful, even when everything around you is falling apart. Not at all. It's not just about getting more peace of mind. It's about getting better at what you do. Kind and caring and strong person traits that can change not just your life, but also the lives of the people near you. What we talked about today, we'll talk about different plans that use both modern mental health and Stoic thought to help you get better. This open-mindedness, we're going to look at how to become more mindful, how important it is to identify why it's important to respond instead of react in the modern world, and putting at your feelings in a healthy way, how to keeping the bigger picture in mind. A point of view that the Stoics were very good at. By the end of this talk, they will give you a set of methods to use to help you take a break. Think about your response and assessment to everything life throws at you. So let's start on this trip together, getting a sense of stability in the Stoic way of thinking and our own mind power to choose how to answer, changing the way we experience things and how they connect for the better, as we try to understand what replying is all about. Going too far, we enter a realm where every thought and action is planned, bringing up the deep. The lessons of Stoicism. The Stoics, those wise old men of Greece and Rome in the past, had an idea of life that's really cool, useful for our fast-paced the present day. They taught how important taking control of your feelings and responses, that stress, the real power, lies in our capacity to decide what to do, anything that might happen. So why is it so important to get someone to respond rather than a quick leap of faith? Picture yourself in a tense meeting, that you're facing a personal problem. The normal way people act is often to act without thinking, driven by the sudden surge of feelings. Even though this response is normal, is rarely what's best for us. Tips for teaching your mind to respond long-term. It can make problems worse. Break up marriages and help people decide we could regret it later. This is where the wise Stoicism comes through. The Stoics thought in life in harmony with nature and good sense, calling for a life where everything is based on virtue, with logic and thought. By following this idea, we learn how to watch our first thoughts, look at them with a clear head, and finally decide what to do. That fits with what we believe in. And long-term plans, giving answers instead of reacting, means stopping for a moment when they see something that sets them off. It's about taking a step back to watch, not just the outside event, but also your inside answer to it. This pause for thought, letting you to think about different outcomes and pick one that makes sense, balanced, and most of all out of your hands. By taking this Stoic stance, you're not holding back how you feel or acting like they don't exist. Instead, you are recognizing them. Understanding where they came from. The next step is to decide if and how they should affect what you do. This method gives you power to get along with the world such a way that keeps peace inside you and honesty, no matter what the outside events are, but how important it is to answer. Overreacting gets worse beyond just peace of mind. It changes the quality of the people. You know how good your leadership really is and your strength in the face of trouble when you answer carefully. You show that you respect being aware of and kindness towards other points of view in life situations, making things more important and helpful. Conversations starting a trip that will change them to train. The mind needs more than just aim. It requires careful planning and consistent work, a lot like how the practices is paired with the Stoics. These wise old people offer timeless ideas that can hold our current way of doing things to building a responsive, the pause and the power of being self-aware, rather than mind that reacts to begin. Let's look into the power. Being aware of oneself, a central idea in Stoic thought. The Stoics stress how important it is to look inside and understanding one's own thoughts and reasons for. In our case, this means building a sharp awareness of our mind, states of mind and emotions. When you know what you're thinking and thoughts, you have more tools now to properly handle them. This greater self-awareness, letting you to notice the start of feelings and reactions, and gives the important first thing to do when picking a more thoughtful answer. We talk about the act of stopping. A simple but powerful plan. Marcus Aurelius was a calm ruler. A lot of people talked about the space between the stimulus and the reaction, the area where we have power to decide what to do by getting into the habit of stopping. Even if only for a second, we treat ourselves the chance to take a step back from our first instincts. You can fill this break. Taking a deep breath, a moment of thought, or a short moment of silence. It's in this area that we can talk to our inner Stoic, telling ourselves what virtue needs right now and what answer fits. With our best selves, another important plan is changing the way we see things, a method that Stoics use to keep things fair in the face of trouble. This means consciously choosing how to look at a situation from a different view, one that makes it less stressful and shows different ways to deal with it. As an example, changing how we look at things and concentrating on what we can manage, instead of seeing a tough work environment as a danger. Maybe you could rethink it as a chance to get better and show perseverance. By switching up our story, our feelings change how we react and make new things possible, ready to act. Besides, the Stoics were supporters of we should focus on what we can do, taking charge and letting go of what we can't. When following this idea, we learn how to put our energy to good use, actively responding about what we think and do, while accepting what's going on outside as they happen. This doesn't mean being inactive or not caring. Instead, this is about recognizing where our real power lies, making the choice to act there on purpose and with honesty. Lastly, the habit of regularly reflecting and making changes is key to train your mind. The Stoics took part as part of daily self-examination, judging what they did and move towards goodness the same. We can end the day by thinking about how we responded, being proud of our achievements in picking acts with care and what we can learn from the past. It was like we went back to reacting. Keeping this process going of evaluating and getting better encourages a flexible way of thinking and helps people gain knowledge and keep that Stoicism in check. Such high prices by using these tactics together into our everyday lives. We not only honor what the Stoics left behind, but also give ourselves power to live with a bigger reason, calm and success. By practicing over and over, we change our minds, helping them come up with answers that show what we value most, hopes and dreams. Being aware at its core is about growing a strong sense of the present moment. It's about keeping an eye on our thoughts, feelings, and thoughts without any bias that help us understand about how they are as a result of practicing mindfulness. This is in line with the Stoic effort, in order to live with knowledge and purpose, putting our feet firmly on the present. How to be mindful and live a Stoic life. The only time when we have the real power to do something. One useful method to improve your awareness is by tasks for focused attention, like focusing on your breath by just paying attention to our breath. Noticing every breath in and out. We build up the ability to keep your attention and bring it back to our main point when it gets lost. This is more than just a way to relax. It's a place to train your mind, improving our skills to pay attention and stay present amidst the difficulties and distractions of life. One more important thing is careful observing, which can be used for any everyday task, making the situation into a chance for being mindful. Whether you're eating or not, like walking or even doing boring things, you can work on being fully involved. Dealing with the task. Taking note of everything, interested and willing to listen. This not only makes the experience better, but also makes you better at what you do to stay on task and able to adapt to different events. Meditation on the body scan is another strong way to practice mindfulness that makes you aware of your body and being there by paying careful. Looking at different parts of the body. We don't just build a stronger bond being with our bodies, but learn to see where and let go held on to stress and feelings. This technique is similar to the Stoic way of thinking, on what bodily feelings are and how important it is not letting them do too much on our logical minds. Adding thought to into how we interact with other people can also improve how we talk and interact with each other. By giving other people your full attention, paying close attention, and watching without making a decision, we help people understand more deeply. And linking up. This method fits in based on the strong value of kindness and the knowledge that they are also reasonable beings dealing with their own problems and life situations. Responding. Instead of reacting in everyday life by practicing these techniques of mindfulness, we walk on the same road the Stoics did, one that helps you see things better. Peace of mind and success in what we do as we practice being present in the moment. We get the tools we need to deal with the problems that come up in life with grace's calm and wisdom, having the best of what it means to be a Stoic, brought life. Let's change our attention now. Moving towards the practical use what we've found, mindfulness and Stoic ideas. Trying to develop a way of life where reacting with care overpowers urges to move this trip to putting in place an answer, overreaction. It's not just about stopping our natural reactions, more about making things better. How we deal with life, echoing the virtue of Stoicism of choosing to live with reason and goal to live by the ideals we've talked about. Setting up daily habits is very important. That help you get better at reacting. Picture yourself in dealing with a tough situation. There might be a fight at work or a surprise failure. The immediate urge could be to react strongly because they are angry or disappointed. On the other hand, now is the time to use our courage. Training that inspired to stop and think about a bigger picture view, telling ourselves, what would a Stoic thinker do? This question isn't a call to hide your feelings, not a message, but a call to use our logical minds to look at the situation without bias and come up with good answers. We're not getting rid of feelings here, but putting them to good use, using your mind to get through them. It's about letting our thoughts be known, knowing what sets them off after being clear and calm, choosing the best thing to do that aligns with our goals and values in real life terms. This might mean taking a short walk to calm down before writing back. Answer to an obscene email. How to live a more responsive life in real life, or that it might include a more thorough look of what's really making you upset. Having a fight, looking for the real problems in place of moving irritability on the surface every time you pick to act instead of respond. You're keeping up a habit of thoughtful dealing with the problems in life, building strength and growing a deeper understanding, peace of mind, happiness, and besides, putting this method together as part of your daily life makes its effect stronger. Start your day with a thought about your goals, just to remind you of your promise to answer carefully in a range of situations Write in a journal every day to think about your answers, enjoy your wins, and find places to improve and, most importantly, take on a mindset, learning all the time, and how to adapt. Being aware of that every day gives you new chances to practice and improve how well you can respond. Agreeing to this path too quickly. You're not just changing how you deal with stress, less conflict or better conflict management. You're following a way of life. That shows the Stoic, the search for honor and wisdom you've chosen to live. Without meaning to, getting your behavior in line with your best goals in mind, and in that way you're making things more logical, kind and caring, and world that responds how we got from reaction to answer changes things, calling us to come here a stronger connection. Finally, the way forward with Stoic wisdom with ourselves on the inside and the outside world. The Stoics went down this road with hard work and dedication, and now that we have their advice to follow, we too can strive to handle life's rough patches with grace, equal rights, and sound reasoning. Having the real spirit of Stoicism in this day and age, the main point of our study isn't just about taking care of our responses by ourselves, but about adding a flexible, careful method, a part of our everyday lives by following the rules of being tough, concentrating on what we can change, making sense of things, and always trying to be good. We give ourselves power to deal with life's problems along with more equality and reason. This road, inspired by Stoicism, urges us to enjoy every moment, to take advantage of, to put our promise to respond into action. Too much anger. There are things that bother us every day. Major losses or important decisions in every case gives you a chance to show Stoic traits of smarts and bravery, truth and moderation by constantly choosing to respond with care. We not only make our own health better, however, help positively to the people around us. Remember, the path to mastering response instead of reply is still going on, a process of always growing and learning. Like the Greeks, we need to follow the rules. To think about oneself, evaluating our progress often, and making changes to our classes. This dedication to growing as a person not only brings us together to our best selves, but also sends waves outward, changing how we relate to each other, places to live, and the bigger picture of how our lives are linked. Now that this trip is over, remember, together, every second is a choice, a chance to show kindness, the strength and the Stoic way of thinking in the quilt of life. The answers you give are threads of who you are, woven with care and meaning. As we say goodbye, I invite you to keep looking around. Check the screen for videos that you might like. More in-depth looks at how to live wisely and well. Thanks for being here. At the Stoic Journal for taking the way with a mindful answer, too strong of a desire. May your journey go well, be made better with